Let's delve into a profound topic. The perfect formula involves understanding how to use your mind and emotions to create the financial reality you desire. Let's break this down in simple terms. You're not just waiting for money to come into your life before you feel abundant. You need to understand and apply a fundamental principle. How you think and feel today will shape your financial future. First, let's talk about intention. Intention is a powerful concept that goes beyond just having a vague desire or wish. It's about having a clear and vivid idea of what you want to achieve in your life. When it comes to solving your money problems, setting a clear intention is the first and most important step. Your intention is essentially a vision for your financial future that helps guide your actions and decisions. Think of intention as a detailed plan for what you want your financial situation to look like. It's not just a fleeting thought or a hope, it's a focused and specific goal that you are committed to achieving. To start making real progress with your finances, you need to establish a clear intention about what you want financially. This intention could relate to various aspects of your financial life, such as getting out of debt, increasing your income, or achieving financial independence. Setting a clear intention means you need to be specific and detailed about what you want. It's not enough to simply say, "I want to be rich," or "I want to have more money." These are broad and vague statements that don't give you a concrete direction to work towards. Instead, you should define your financial goals in a way that is clear and actionable. For instance, instead of a general wish like, "I want to be rich," you might say, "I want to earn $10,000 a month doing work that I love." This statement is much more specific and provides a clear target to aim for. When you set a detailed intention, it helps you focus your energy and efforts on achieving that goal. For example, if your intention is to earn $10,000 a month, you can break this goal down into smaller, manageable steps. You might start by identifying the type of work you want to do, researching ways to increase your income in that field, and creating a plan to reach your income target. Having a specific intention allows you to create a roadmap for how to get from where you are now to where you want to be. It's also important to ensure that your intention is realistic and achievable. While it's great to set ambitious goals, it's equally important to be practical and consider what steps you need to take to achieve your intention. For example, if you want to earn a higher income, think about what skills or qualifications you might need to achieve this. Your intention should motivate you and give you a sense of purpose, but it should also be grounded in reality. Once you have your intention, you need to make it real. Write down all the details of what you want. This helps your brain start working on new ways to make it happen. The clearer you are about what you want, the more your brain will start to focus on it. If you want to travel the world, for example, you might list details like, "I want to visit 5 countries this year, stay in beautiful hotels, and have a budget of $20,000. The more specific you are, the better. The next step is to feel the emotions of having already achieved your goal. This is where the real magic happens. You need to train your body to feel the way you would feel if you had already achieved your financial goals. This means feeling abundant, successful, and grateful before the money actually shows up. When you think about your future and feel the emotions associated with it, your brain and body start to align with that vision. This process involves creating an emotional experience that mirrors the future you want. When you imagine your financial success, you need to fully immerse yourself in that feeling. Imagine how it feels to have more than enough money. How would you feel? How would your days be different? Your body needs to experience these emotions as if they are happening right now. This emotional experience sends powerful signals to your brain and body, preparing them to manifest your vision. Let's explore what it means to live in the future instead of being stuck in the past. A lot of people find themselves trapped by their past experiences and emotions. These past experiences can create old patterns and beliefs about money that keep them from moving forward. If you want to make positive changes in your life and finances, you need to start focusing on a vision of your future rather than being held back by memories of your past. When people are stuck in their past, their old experiences and feelings often control their actions and decisions. For example, if you've had financial problems before, these past struggles might make you feel like you'll always have issues with money. You might start to believe that you're not capable of achieving financial success. These beliefs can create a cycle where you keep repeating the same old habits that haven't worked in the past. To break free from this cycle, it's important to shift your focus to a vision of what you want for your future. Start by imagining a future where you've achieved your financial goals. Picture yourself being successful, secure, and happy with your finances. Think about what that future looks like in detail. For instance, you might imagine having a comfortable home, a healthy savings account, or being able to travel and enjoy life without financial stress. The more vivid and detailed your vision, the more powerful it will be. Once you have this vision of your future, it's time to start making choices that support it. This means acting in ways that help you move towards your goals rather than sticking with old habits that have kept you stuck. For example, if your goal is to save more money, you might start by creating a budget, tracking your spending, or setting aside a portion of your income each month. If you want to invest wisely, you might learn about different investment options or seek advice from a financial expert. Making new choices every day can be challenging, especially if you're used to old patterns. Old habits can be difficult to break, and it's easy to slip back into familiar ways of thinking and behaving. But if you want to change your financial situation, you need to consciously choose to act differently. This might mean taking small steps outside of your comfort zone, like trying a new budgeting method or setting a new financial goal. Living in the future also means staying focused on your vision and not letting past failures or setbacks hold you back. If you encounter challenges or obstacles, remind yourself of your future goals and why you're working towards them. Use these challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than letting them drag you back into old patterns. Every time you make a choice that aligns with your vision, you reinforce your commitment to creating a better financial future. Every time you make a new choice that supports your vision, you are changing your mind. This is crucial because if your brain is organized around past experiences, it will limit your ability to create a new future. By making choices that align with your financial goals, you start to rewire your brain and create new neural pathways that support your vision. Remember, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. When you combine clear intentions with elevated emotions, you create a powerful electromagnetic signature. This signature influences every atom in your life, including your financial situation. Your thoughts send out electrical charges into the quantum field, and your feelings send out magnetic charges. Together, they create a powerful force that attracts the financial abundance you desire. It's important to stay consistent with this process. Changing your financial reality takes time and effort. It's not about doing a few meditations and expecting immediate results. It's about consistently training your mind and body to align with your financial goals. Think of it like fishing. Once you catch the first fish, you start to see the results of your efforts. Similarly, once you start to notice changes in your financial situation, it motivates you to keep going. You need to be patient and persistent. If you've been struggling with money for a long time, it might take some time to see changes. But as you continue to practice and stay focused on your intention, you'll begin to see results. Your brain and body will start to align with your vision, and your financial situation will begin to change. One of the most important parts of this process is understanding that you don't have to wait for things outside of you to get better before you start feeling good. Instead, you're creating a new reality from inside yourself. This means you don't have to let your current financial situation or past experiences control how you feel or what you think about your future. You have the power to shape a new financial future by changing the way you think and feel right now. Think about it this way. If you're waiting for your financial situation to improve before you start feeling happy or successful, you might be waiting a long time. Your happiness and success shouldn't depend on how much money you have or what's happening around you. Instead, you need to start feeling happy and successful, even if your financial situation hasn't changed yet. This might seem like a strange idea, but it's actually very powerful. When you change how you think and feel, you're not just reacting to your current situation, you're taking charge of your own reality. Imagine you have a goal to improve your financial situation. If you're always focused on the problems and setbacks, it's hard to stay positive and motivated. But if you start to picture yourself achieving your financial goals and feeling the emotions that come with success, you begin to change your reality from within. This means you need to visualize your goals clearly. For example, if you want to be financially secure, picture yourself living comfortably, managing your money well, and feeling confident about your financial future. This kind of mental image helps you to feel the emotions of success right now, even if you haven't reached your goals yet. Your feelings of confidence and security can start to change your mindset and actions. Changing how you think and feel is important because it sets up new patterns in your brain. When you focus on positive thoughts and feelings, you start to create new ways of thinking that are aligned with your goals. Your brain begins to work differently, and this can help you notice new opportunities and solutions that you might have missed before. Your past experiences and current financial situation don't have to dictate your future. Even if you've had financial difficulties or setbacks before, these don't have to control your future. By focusing on what you want and how you want to feel, you're creating a new path for yourself. This means you're not letting past failures or current problems hold you back. Instead, you're choosing to focus on your desired future and feeling the emotions that come with achieving it. The key is to be consistent. It's not enough to just think positively once in a while. You need to make it a regular part of your life. Every day, take time to imagine your financial success and feel the emotions associated with it. This might involve visualizing your goals, repeating positive affirmations, or simply reminding yourself of what you're working towards. The more you do this, the more you'll begin to align your thoughts and feelings with your goals. To further illustrate this, think about someone who has been sick for a long time. The process of healing involves training the mind and body to align with a new state of health. Similarly, solving your money problems involves training your mind and body to align with financial abundance. It's about changing your brain waves and getting beyond the limitations of your current financial situation. When you practice this process consistently, you start to create physical evidence in your brain and body that supports your new financial reality. You're not waiting for money to come into your life. You're creating the conditions for it to flow naturally. This means your brain and body begin to look and feel like your desired financial reality has already occurred. In essence, you're creating a new way of being. Your brain and body are learning to operate as if your financial goal, and when he drank it, he never forgot any of his lifetimes, and he saw all his demons. And this book is this journey of this soul through different levels of every single lifetime you can imagine that you and I can relate to. And he runs into a secret society and he becomes initiated. And there's a chapter in the Red Lion called The Kilkyard. And I asked my children to read that chapter every year. Every year they have to read that chapter because the initiate sits down in front of a statue, an inanimate statue. And his job is to animate that statue and bring it to life. Are you with me? And for years he wakes up in the morning, makes his tea, has his breakfast, and then all day he's putting his life force and his energy into animating this particular statue. And after years, he notices it swallows. He notices it moving its finger. And the moment he starts to realize that he could take something inanimate and bring it to life, he gives it more of his attention and energy. You with me still? Until it is a walking, talking being. As we begin to create more coherence in the brain, more coherence in the heart, you're creating a very profound laser, a Wi-Fi signal that can allow you to read information. Can't read it if you're separate. You can't read it if your brain's incoherent. You can't read it if your heart's incoherent. And so the more coherence and order you have, the more the experience gets enriched, because you can't read that information unless you're ready for it. That's the point. So as people start getting through this and they start having very profound moments, and they're now opening their heart and they can sustain heart coherence and they know how to create brain coherence, that's the formula. And now they have a laser. They have coherent light and information that can read information that exists beyond the senses. And the pineal gland, once activated, will transduce it into profound imagery. Whether you see with your eyes open or your eyes closed, it doesn't matter, because it's more real than anything you've ever experienced. Let's have a small pause here. It's the next part. Dr. Joe is going to talk about his research about the 4 states of matter. Listen carefully. This is very important. And so I started researching and I found that there's 4 states of matter. There's solids, there's liquids, there's gases, and the biggest, most abundant form of matter, what's called plasma. And plasma is when you have a negative charge and a positive charge, and they haven't formed an atom yet. So if you have a negative charge and a positive charge, then you're going to have an electrical current running between the two and a field around that current. And the universe really, stars connect through plasma. Everything connects through plasma. So when you start seeing these complex patterns, it's an impression from that plasma that's being pressed into 3-dimensional reality. And so if you take 3 stones, right, and you drop them at the same time into a plate, and you freeze the water in the plate, and those 3 stones fall, and they start producing concentric rings, and they start interfering with each other, you're starting to get complex pattern of interference. So vibrational match, all of a sudden your energy's at that point, and there's a door. And now you're going to get somebody who's going to, in your state of emotional freedom, in your state of your bliss or ecstasy or whatever it is, there's a perfect opportunity for a being that's vibrating at a similar frequency to begin to influence a person's future. But by the same means, if you can't get to that point and you're stuck, well, then there are beings that love to feed off emotions and feed off energy. And I've seen those too, because when a person finally gets beyond their suffering or whatever, they no longer can host on that person because they're no longer that emotion, that energy any longer. So then all of a sudden the person experiences a tremendous amount of freedom as well. And yeah, of course, now they're setting themselves up for something else. What I do know, though, is that our intention really is to connect to the divine. Our intention is to become divine. Our intention is to open our hearts and trust again, to love again. Our intention is to teach our bodies emotionally what our future could feel like, to trade guilt and shame and resentment and jealousy and envy and competition for love. And we practice that in our week-long events. And once this center begins to open up, we're after coherence. So if you have a coherent heart and you're able to manage that and sustain the heart coherence, the field around your body begins to expand up to 3 meters wide. And that frequency, that coherent frequency, is like a Wi-Fi signal. You got a signal now, and at the same time, once energy makes it to the heart and it goes to the brain, and you teach a person how to create a coherent brain and be able to suppress the mechanism of the thinking neocortex, the memory bank of the known self, teach a person how to operate from their limbic brain and tune that pineal gland into frequency and allow that pineal gland to lock into a frequency. Now you have a Wi-Fi signal as well, and it can read information. And these beings, I was doing this event in Florida, in Amelia Island. It was an advanced event, advanced follow-up. And this is people that have done advanced workshops. And the event was called Dream Time, that were up from 11 at night till 8 in the morning for the mystical. And if you don't want to do the mystical, don't come. but I'm going to be messing with your sleep, and I stay up the entire night. I'm watching the entire audience, and we're keeping them between worlds, between wakefulness and sleep in that theta realm. And many people have very profound transcendental experiences while we're doing it. And I was trying to think of a way to explain this to the audience, and I had just finished the morning. I hadn't done my meditation, so I went into my room, I sat up, I did my meditation, and then I laid down. And when I laid down, all of a sudden, I see this beautiful fractal pattern with my eyes closed in the room. And the moment I see that fractal pattern, I know that that's order. That's information, a packet, a standing wave of information. And I sense it. I see it with my eyes closed. And then it unfolds like it rolls out on this beautiful being standing right next to me. And I'm sitting there with my eyes closed. And I say, oh shit, like holy, like whoa. And I hear it laugh. And it sounds like a symphony, like a harmony. In fifth dimensional creation, you are not going anywhere to get anything. Fifth dimensional creation has nothing to do with going anywhere to get anything. Because if you combine a clear intention, a coherent thought, coherent brainwave pattern, with a coherent heart, moving into that elevated emotion, thoughts are electric and feelings are magnetic. The magnetism of this center becomes the energy. The intention is carried on that energy, and now you are broadcasting a new signature into the quantum field. Now, if it's done properly, and you understand the mechanics, in fifth dimensional creation, you are not going anywhere to get anything. You are actually collapsing space and time, and you are drawing the experience to you. You are the vortex. Because when there's a vibrational match between your energy and that potential that exists in the quantum field, by tuning a radio dial, when you lock into that frequency, if you keep revisiting that energetic signature over again every single day, then you don't have to go anywhere and get it. The new job finds you. The new house actually finds you. The new relationship finds you, because you are the vortex that's drawing the experience to you. My definition of creation is when I forget about me. I become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. I become pure consciousness. And the moment I reach that elegant moment of the generous present moment, all possibilities in the quantum field exist truly when our brain and body are in the present moment. Getting there is the work. So then most people then create reality from what we call three-dimensional creation. Now, when you teach people how to take their attention off of matter, off of objects, off of a particle, and sense energy and sense space and pay attention to nothing, the moment they begin to open their focus, all of a sudden, their brain waves begin to change from beta to alpha. But not only just alpha, where the imaginary inner world starts to become more real, but very coherent brainwave patterns in alpha. So when you're under stress, you're trying to control that person, that thing that you're experiencing, your attention is shifting from one thing to the next. Turns out that each one of those things has a neurological network in the brain assigned to it because we've experienced it. So as you try to control all these things and your attention is shifting, you measure the brain. There's no coherency. The brain is very incoherent. Why is it important to have coherency? Well, because the moment you open your focus and the brain begins to acclimate, different compartments of the brain begin to unify. They begin to synchronize, and what syncs in the brain links in the brain. So when your brain is coherent, you're coherent. When your brain is incoherent, you are incoherent. The person, the maverick, who's willing to step out into the unknown, that unknown is the perfect place to create from. Because only in the unknown can you create something new. And if you and I can become comfortable in that unknown place, then the best way to predict the future is to create it from that unknown place. Now, when people start crossing the river of change from the old self to the new self, because they're no longer thinking, acting, and feeling in the same way, there is literally a biological, a neurological, a genetic, a chemical death of the old self. And this dark night of the soul, this unfamiliar place, is the true value, the true step towards developing a new self. And your biology, your neurocircuitry, your neurochemistry, your neurohormones, and even your genetic expression is equal to how you think, how you act, and how you feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality, and your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. So then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, a new life, then you would have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You would have to become aware of your unconscious thoughts and observe them. You would have to pay attention to your automatic habits and behaviors and modify them. And you would have to look at the emotions you live by every single day that are connected to your past and decide if those emotions belong in your future. You see, most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else. And you are here this week to learn vital information about creating a future and be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past. Because if you are not defined by some vision that is bigger than you and you are not passionate about that vision, then you are left with the old hardware of the past in your brain and you will be predictable in your life. So would you agree then? New thoughts, new information should lead to new choices. New choices should lead to new behaviors, and new behaviors should create new experiences, and new experiences should produce new emotions, and those new emotions should drive new thoughts. And that's called evolution. So if your brain is a record of the past and you don't have a vision of the future, then you are living in the past. And you will never arrive at that new future. Now there's another potential for you to exist free from the chains of the old self. That potential exists right now. And I want you to teach your body emotionally what it would feel like so that it begins to believe it's in the actual experience of freedom. Let your body feel freedom so that it thinks it's in the experience. And I want you to sit in your body emotionally to feel the joy of how you would feel. So the body begins to be in a future potential now emotionally, and there's a potential for you to have all your needs met and be wealthy. And I want you to instruct your body to experience wealth and the joy of riches ahead of the actual events, so your body thinks it's in the experience. If you feel it, your body thinks it's in the experience. It doesn't know the difference. Now there's a potential in the field for a genius mind, quicksilver thoughts, insights that take you to new horizons. Now where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So you want that energy to move right to the top of your head. So then as you inhale, you bring that energy all the way up to the top. You keep following your breath. You lock all the way to the top. When you get to the top, now you hold your breath. And when you hold your breath, you contract those intrinsic muscles and you begin to lift those muscles up and you begin to compress those muscles and you begin to push that cerebral spinal fluid up into your brain. So then why do I ask you to inhale and hold your breath? Now this isn't inhaling and turning purple and pushing. If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. It's a slow, steady breath and you follow that breath all the way to the top, either to the top of your head or you put your awareness on where that pineal gland is between the back of your throat and the back of your head. Now when you inhale, that inhalation is very slow and very steady. It's not a big inhalation and pushing. It's a slow, steady breath, and you're contracting these muscles and coordinating it, and you're following your breath all the way to the top of your head. And when you get to the top of your head, I'm going to ask you to inhale a little bit more. And as you pull up, you're going to lock these muscles down even further and you're lifting them up. Once you lift them up and you have your attention either on the top of your head or the space that your pineal gland occupies in space, I'm going to ask you to lock those muscles down and pump, squeeze, or push. And I want you to push that fluid up into your brain by squeezing the muscles. Not by holding your breath harder, but by squeezing those muscles. I want you to begin to pump that fluid and begin to compress up against your pineal gland. When you do this breath, you have to demonstrate a will that's greater than any program. You have to find a level of intensity or a level of passion that's greater than the body as the mind or any addiction to any emotion. You have to be inspiration, the movement of energy. Don't be afraid of it. Just surrender into it. For some people, their body will do unusual things. That's information trying to be integrated into it. Don't be afraid of it. Just surrender into it. If your body does weird things, more than likely that's energy moving to your brain. If you have a lapse of consciousness or you all of a sudden find yourself on the ground, that's energy moving into your brain. It's happened to me numerous times. It's a sign that you're getting close or at least doing it correctly. Now, where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So you want that energy to move right to the top of your head. Inspiration, the movement of energy. You have to find a level of intensity or a level of passion that's greater than the body as the mind or any addiction to any emotion. Don't be afraid of it. Just surrender into it. On a Sunday morning while she was in the shower, her husband said goodbye to his 2 children, yelled something to her while she was in the shower, and then went to the tallest building in Amsterdam and jumped off the building and committed suicide. Now that is a stressful event, and when she got the news, she experienced all the emotions that people experience from something that's shocking and traumatic like that. She was suffering, she was in pain, she was resentful, she was guilty, she was confused, she was angry. She went through the whole gamut of emotions, and all of those emotions, by the way, are derived from the hormones of stress. So she has an event in her life. It changes her biologically. She doesn't know how to control her emotional reaction. It turns into a mood, one long emotional reaction. If you keep reviewing that event in your mind, you begin to produce the same chemistry in your brain and body as if the event was occurring. So her body is being conditioned to the past because she's reliving the experience 50 to 100 times in a day, and her body is beginning to believe it's in the same past experience over and over again. It ultimately goes from a mood to a temperament, and now people are asking her in her life, "Why are you so upset?" She tells the story, and she's basically saying, "I am this way because of this event that happened to me 4 months ago."